So today we are going to do Shloka 38 and 39. So the meaning of both the Shloka is, although these people with their understanding clouded by greed do not perceive the veil of destruction of their own families, and the sin occurring from animation towards friend, O Janardana, why should we who see clearly the sin involved in the destruction of the family not think to turn away from such sin? So again, we can see here the greed consists in desiring to have more and more money, property, praise, respect, and rank. Everything, all these kind of desires are caused by greed. And these big desires were in Duryodhana. Because of these desires, Duryodhana lost his direction. Yeah, so he was not able to think properly. And he turned away from, he was able to just go for war. So Arjun is saying that Duryodhana is blind with the greed. Because of greed, he cannot see, and he is ready for the war. And now he's making again Krishna understand more that whatever in the war, like if Duryodhana wins the war, whatever pleasure he gets, that pleasure and position is not going to stay forever. Because we all know this in entire world, in the universe, nothing is permanent. Things come and things go. Things come and things go. So he's saying if they won and or if I won, it's not going to be permanent. Then why are we fighting? So we can see Arjuna making excuse and excuse to not to fight. So and then he's saying that when we do battle war, it's going to cause lot of hardship for the body. The mind will be sad and all kind of emotion will start showing up. So he is trying his best to convince Krishna. He doesn't want to fight. Because the position and things can make you happy for some time. But doesn't matter how much wealth, how much big position, whatever you have, anything can go away. Anything can slip out of your hand. So till you didn't get it, you wanted it, so you are worrying for it. And if you get it and after that you lose it, again you are worrying for it. So he is trying to make Krishna understand that in both the conditions, the situation will be same. So why we need to fight? Why we need to do that karma? Because it will be the same. So now we can see here the Arjuna is thinking about the greed of Duryodhana. But he's not looking at his fluctuation and delusion. He's just thinking about Duryodhana, that okay, Duryodhana is this, Duryodhana is that, his decision is not right, everything about Duryodhana, not looking at himself at all. So in human nature, it's very common. The man can have a feeling of superiority, that I am very superior. So Arjun have this kind of feeling that I am very superior, I can think good for others. Duryodhana is not able to think for others. But Arjun is not realizing that looking at others' fault is also a very big defect. So Arjun is doing this defect. He's looking at Duryodhana's fault, not realizing that what problem he is having. So if we are looking at others' fault all the time, always remember that it is a very big defect in our behavior. We cannot continuously tell others that others are wrong. So Arjun is doing all those things. Then Krishna, he's telling to Krishna, hey Janardana, we can see the decaying of family with the sin of Duryodhana. And we don't have to do anything like this. Like he's saying that if everybody will die, the family will decay. We don't have to do anything like this. Like he's just pushing Krishna that, okay, somehow Krishna says that we don't have to fight. So he made the excuse. Then this was the shlok 38 and 39. Now the shloka 14. Now the actual shloka starts. Destruction of a family is age-long family tradition disappear, and with the absence of family tradition, amplify takes hold of entire family. So now we all know when there is war, what happened? The family get destroyed. The family get destroyed, and with the family, the ages like long traditions which a family have, those tradition and values also get destroyed. So now Arjun is going on the tradition and values. Before that, in previous shloka, he was focusing on Duryodhana, that Duryodhana is not thinking properly. Now he is telling if people are died, the tradition and values will be gone. In this sloka, we can see the Arjun's social phase, like how socially he's thinking. He's like worrying about everyone. That, okay, we don't have to fight, we need to take care of others, and we have to take care of the traditions and whatever rituals and whatever things we do, we have to take care of that also. So he's saying that if there is nobody in the family, then who will do the religious things in the family? Who will follow the dharma in the family? And if there are some members left in the family, they will become adharmic. So it's like burning the entire family. So these are the social and religious thoughts of Arjun. Like if you see, if any of us, if you see this or think about it, we can see that we also think like that. We all think like that we have to preserve culture, we have to preserve dharma, we have to preserve our rituals. So thousands of years, the Arjun mindset and today's our mindset is totally equal. So now go more deeper. Can anyone answer me that what Arjun's dharma is? What is the basic of Arjun's dharma here? What is the, what is the dharma for Arjun here? Can anyone tell me? Is it dharma outside? Is it dharma inside? Is it dharma preserving culture? Is it dharma following rituals? Is it dharma being spiritual? What kind of Arjun's dharma is here?
I think inside being righteous.
Again, think, Venkat Priya, what I said right
Yes.
now, what Arjun is projecting.
His dharma is
In
to
that,
fight.
He
what?
wants to come. He wants to push back.
No, go to
His dharma
dharma.
is to fight.
No,
Fight the war.
that is his dharma. That I know, that Krishna knows, right? But when we are looking at Arjuna's character, what can we see now? What he is
राज्य
more,
धर्म
no,
लोगों को प्रोटेक्ट करना.
like he's more towards the preserving the culture, preserving the ceremonies. He's not worried towards the people. He is worried towards the preserving the culture. Remember, I told, like, he's like, if nobody's in the family, who will do the ceremonies? Who will do the rituals? He's like more worried for that. So we can see that his mindset, it's like more social, like thinking about social, like rituals and ceremonies and all those things. Not thinking about people. Try to understand. He's thinking about the rituals and ceremonies, not thinking about the people. So for him, for Arjun, the dharma means ceremonies, ritual. And that is true for many of us today also. Dharma only means ceremonies and rituals. Is those ceremonies and rituals are actually helping anyone to go ahead in their spiritual path? We don't want to even check that. We just want to do rituals. So same thing. How the dharma is now, the same way the dharma was at the time of Arjun. So he's making now this kind of excuse that all things should be preserved. And for that, there should be no war. Now, see, again, we'll see the character of Arjun here. In this shloka, can anyone tell me, is Arjun being a disciple or is Arjun trying to teach Krishna? Anyone?
I think he's still disciple, but he doesn't want to teach, but he has so many questions, curiosities, right? So if this happens, that happens, so then he wants answer for those.
Like, Sumedha, like he's not even asking question, he's telling Krishna. Right? He's telling Krishna.
So he's telling in the hope that he will be convincing Krishna not to fight.
Convincing Krishna. So in a way, if you see more deeply, you can see that he's trying to teach Krishna. Right? And if you tell Arjun that you are trying to teach Krishna, what will he say? No, 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 Krishna is God. I cannot teach Krishna anything. I will obey to Krishna. But the same thing he is doing. And now look at your all of us behavior. We also do these things many times, right? Many times we don't know the real answers and we want to teach others. Or we want to keep our decision and our things on the top. So same thing he's doing there. So we can see the ego of Arjun here, how egoistic he has become. To prove that he's right, he's standing and telling Krishna that this, that, so many excuses he's giving. Look, the ego, try to understand. Arjuna's ego is very polite and humble here. Very politely, very humbly, he's trying to convince Krishna. He's trying to teach Krishna. He's not fighting with Krishna. Most of the time, what we say, if somebody is rude or somebody fights, then only we say that this person has ego, right? But very humble, very polite person can also have ego if that person is pushing you too much. And it happens many times. I have seen many egoistic people very humbly, very politely, they push you too much. So don't go how the people talk. See how their behavior is, what the behavior is representing. Right? These things happen now also, same. Like in this entire Geeta, if you remove the Mahabharata part and Geeta, it will become today's story, how we all live. So when you talk to someone, or if you are talking to someone, like in both the case, somebody is talking to you, or if you are talking to someone, try to understand deeply, minutely, that who is pushing whom. Try to look at your ego and others' ego at the same time. So that will be a kind of a task for you guys to try to, when you talk to anyone, try to understand ego. And maybe next time when we do Geeta, please bring some examples that what you understood, like how the person was and how the ego was behaving. So that will be homework for everyone. Any question here? This was the Shlok 40th. Any question?
What is the homework, Devi? Repeat it, please.
When you talk to people, okay, in both the cases, you are pushing them or they are pushing you. Try to find the ego. Don't go on way of talking. Very polite people can be very egoistic. Here the Arjun is very humble, very polite, very respectful, and then also he's pushing his ego in front of Krishna, trying to convince him with the thousandth way. Remember in Manomaya Kosha what we said? If mind decides something, impure intellect supports the mind with many reason. It gives stand behind of the mind and start giving reason. It supports it. So when there is something is a lie, when there is not something is a lie, it's not truth. At that time, the mind creates, the logic creates so many excuses to support that thought. So his thought, he doesn't want to fight. His logic is supporting it. Okay, don't fight, don't fight, don't fight. And for that, hundreds of excuses he's giving there. With every shloka, we can see a different face, different roop of Arjun. What all is coming out from him. Right? So this is the answer. When you talk to people, try to see the ego part. When you talk to your spouse, your partner, your kids, in office, try to judge people more deeply. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to fight with anybody. These things will help you to create awareness, intuition, that you will know that what kind of person you are talking with. Now the very important shloka, the shloka 41. When empathy prevails, O Krishna, the woman of family becomes preserver with their decorations and their not having corruption. If the women of the family get corrupted, we'll have a hybrid mixture of caste as result. I know the people who love Arjun, this shloka is going to hurt everyone too much. All the girls will feel bad that why Arjun is saying like that. So I want everyone to understand everything because I will be asking question. I want you guys to understand. Don't listen it like a story. And have a pen and pencil also ready to write it down if there is something important. So now we can see the Arjuna's mental disposition. That he's telling Krishna that if there is no male in the family, there is no dharma. And the woman of the family becomes corrupt. This is a fundamental male attitude towards the female. It was at that time, and now also in many families, that if there is no male, the women will get corrupted. The same thing at the Mahabharata time, the same thing today also. Now understand the corruption here, why he's worried for the corruption. The corruption means here, the women will have, if there is no male in the family, the women will have many relationships with others outside their caste and their religion, whatever. And they will become totally corrupt. No one will be there to control them. Now look at Arjun. How body-centric he is. For him, the corruption of women is only having relationships sexually with other people. Like what level he's keeping the women's? Only body level. He's not saying that a woman will be corrupted if she doesn't speak truth, she lies, or she became a thief, or she fight with other people, or people complains about her behavior. He's not saying any of these things. He's not saying anything related to mind or intellect. He just kept women's on the level of the body, and he's saying that, okay, she will go and have relationships, and then she will become corrupt. Can you see the level of Arjuna where he sees the girls, the women's? And this is in the shloka. It's not something I'm telling. This is in the shloka that he's saying like that. So concept was, what is in his mind? That women should be kept pure. For him, the purity of woman is only body. He's not talking about mind or intellect of women's. Can you see what level he's keeping all the women's? He's just saying that all the women are unwise, unintelligent, uncultured. He doesn't want to look at any merit of any of the women. Just he is attached to the body, that, okay, they will have relationship. So no, we don't want fight. Like in today's world also, in many cultures, the family people doesn't talk about the intelligence and wiseness of women, the capacity of women, right? The leadership in them, the awareness inside them. Like in many families, they control women so much. When you control a female, a woman, it means that you are just thinking that she's only a body. You are rejecting that she has a mind, she has a brain, she has an intellect, she has a consciousness. You are rejecting all those things. You are just saying that the women only have a body. So same situation 1,000 years back, and same situation today also in many of the cultures. Now think here deeply. The Arjuna is blaming women so badly. And in front of Krishna, who is Krishna here? He's not saying anything like that. He wants Arjun to war, because Krishna doesn't see women only body. The Krishna doesn't see women only body. He sees women as a pure consciousness. In front of God, in front of Krishna, male and female doesn't matter. So we can see that Krishna, who is saying for the war, he's eager to support all the women and liberate them. He's not going to judge women according to their body. But Arjun here, he's so much body-centric that he's just talking of body. Now the second line of shloka, this was the description of the first line, the second line of the shloka. He's saying that when the women will have intercaste marriages, the purity of the caste will be gone, because the offsprings and the children which will be reproduced will have mixed caste in them. So he's thinking about all that. Instead of thinking about women's consciousness, he's thinking more about the caste. In olden days, when people of two castes used to marry, the kids used to call Vand Sankar, because they have not a pure caste. So he was worried about that. He was not worried about the woman. He was worried about caste. So if a person is too much socially good, now you can see where is his mind. He is just taking care about what the world is going to say. He's not taking care about any of the real person. So at that time, the kings and the men of the higher caste can marry any woman of any caste and have kids with them. And it was okay for society. But women cannot do all that. So the Arjun is thinking woman is a property. Now look at Krishna. How many things Krishna is noticing about Arjun. Now this is the biggest thing. The half of the people on the earth are male and half is female. So half of the female, he's saying that, okay, they are not worth. And in front of Krishna. So many big things Arjun is saying to Krishna. And now Krishna is listening, only listening till now.
He's only listening.
And-
Okay. So he's not
Yeah.
correcting him. Okay.
No,
I
he's
just
just
wanted to get to
listening.
the point. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not even
He's
correcting.
listening. Yeah, he's not correcting anyone. He's listening and he will start speaking later. But look at the problems. People say that Gita happened, Mahabharata happened. Why Krishna said Gita? Look at the mindset of Arjuna. What will the God do? The God has to correct him. So Arjun has all kind of problems in his thinking. And it's not, we are not going to blame Arjun for anything. We all are like that. Many times in our family also, we think of outsider people most. We doesn't care of our own family members. We want to have a respect in the outside society. So we all are like that. So Gita is showing us our own mirror, that how we are. We give lot of value to social things. So first thing, this we can see two things in Arjun now. Like he's so egoistic. He has a proper ego tendency. And then he's stuck with the culture. Culture is good. But at certain point, the culture makes you like create a bondage around you. So Arjun is totally in that bondage of culture. Till now, we cannot see anything spiritual in Arjun. If a spiritual person was there, that person will never say anything like this about any of the women. So till now, the Arjun is not spiritual. Till now, the Arjun is pure religious and cultural man. A good man in a society. And now, when the Krishna will start speaking from the second chapter, then he will teach Arjun to keep all the culture aside and talk about the reality and truth. That how you have to behave with the women. They are also the same as we are. So any question in this one?
I have a question. Is it because Arjun never saw women doing things like they were not given enough opportunities? So he didn't see them excel in war or like anything like that. Or so, sometimes when we don't get the opportunities, we are not able to really do what we can do, right? So was it because of that he had that feeling that women are only in relationships but they cannot do other things?
No, his wife Subhadra, the sister of Krishna, was a warrior, right? She was the charioteer when, like, she was the one who ran away with Arjun. right?
Okay.
So he had wonderful women around. Draupadi was so intelligent, so wonderful, right? He had all these things.
But still,
But then also egocentric male ego, right? Look at the mind that, okay, the woman's has to be like this.
okay.
Right? He has, nice women around him. He had.